First area which you may interact with is the opportunity summary. There are a few pieces of data here that you'll want to populate to help with revenue projections and also some of the reporting that will take place later on. We'll go ahead and enter in a account. You'll see to enter an account, it is a search bar. You're given some suggested recent accounts. But if you were to type in simply a keyword, you'll be able to find the appropriate account to match this with. You're prompted for the projected total contract value. Additionally, you can enter the work share, as that will be factored into the automatically generated revenue projection. You'll see in a moment. And scrolling down to the important dates section is where you'll be prompted for some additional key dates. Now, note that some of these data fields have a red bar next to them. That's an indicator that this field is required for the current pipeline stage. Additionally, I will fill in a projected start date and a projected period of performance. We'll factor into our revenue projections. Now, after filling in the opportunity summary information, one of the next things the user may want to interact with is the P-win evaluation. So on the P-win, you can see in the pursuit stage, we're prompted to respond to the questions as part of the P-win to generate that evaluation calculation. Additionally, you have the optional use of the P-go calculator if you want to make an assessment about how likely this solicitation is to receive funding after award. That said, with our P-win evaluation complete and the information under the opportunity summary filled in, you'll now see, coming up to our forecasted revenue tab, even an automatically generated revenue projection by year. So this graph is taking the projected total contract value and factoring it by for the factored total by the P-win. Unfactored also includes the work share percentage, as well as spreading it evenly across the period of performance based on the start date and the projected term of period. Now, by default, this is an even spread of revenue across the period of performance, although you do have the option to go into the report by clicking View Report and making adjustments to the month-by-month allocation of projected revenue. Now, in order to manage this opportunity through the pipeline, the scorecard is here to keep track of the tasks associated with each stage. You'll see that within each stage, there's a series of tasks that originate from the Shipley methodology to provide some structure around, again, moving this opportunity forward. You'll see that interacting with the tasks in the scorecard will create activity or other task assignments in the activity sidebar. You'll receive email notifications if you are the user these tasks are assigned to when the due date comes up. Additionally, you'll have the ability to edit these if perhaps you are not responsible for a given task and you want to reassign this to one of your colleagues. That will send them an email notification indicating that's been assigned to them. Similar to the P-win calculation, you may find that these scorecard tasks differ based on what you're seeing here due to changes made by your admin. Now, one of the areas that that TechnoMile supports is gathering competitive and customer information to move an opportunity forward. So under our details tab, if we look under intelligence, this is where GovWin IQ information will be referenceable. By entering the opportunity ID from GovWin, if GovWin is collecting information on this, that will be ported over here and kept up to date with any changes that GovWin publishes. Additionally, under the SAM.gov tab, If this opportunity originated from a SAM.gov posting, that information will be referenceable here on screen to see if there's been any new attachments or files published, any new contacts added to the record, or any history of updates. For the purposes of doing additional research on the customer or potential partners or competitors, the Competitive Insights tab enables you to go into the Competitive Insights, aka GovSearchAI window, to do further research. So up here in the control bar, or the search bar rather, we can search for a vendor that we are perhaps competing against or maybe interested in partnering with. Clicking into the vendor detail page with their name linked here, be able to see some high-level information on this vendor, the agencies they are receiving funding from, as well as the specific sub-agencies, and the prime contractors they are working for as a sub, and also the NAICS and PSC codes that they're winning work within. Over on the left-hand side, we can drill further down into the specific awards and filter these, again, by agency, NAICS or PSC code, or by keyword, as a means to determine whether or not you are likely to be competing with this vendor for a given solicitation. Additionally, you could come over here on the left to view the subcontractors that this vendor is using or has worked with in the past. So this, again, is a means to gather information on who you may be competing against or who you may be partnering with. Similarly, if we come to our agencies tab, you'll be able to take a closer look at the projected customer and understand their procurement history, where they're allocating funds, if there are vendors that they are commonly working with. So looking at Department of the Army, again, the first thing that we see is some high-level details displayed visually in these graphics, showing funding over time, as well as top vendors this agency is working with, as well as NAICS and PSC codes that are being funded. On the left-hand side, again, you can take a closer look at the specific awards and filter these to see who is winning work in your target areas. You can also take a look at the Contacts tab to identify if there are any stakeholders for the work that you're pursuing currently that you may want to engage in, contact information you may want to pull from GovSearchAI. Now, coming back to our opportunity record. Since we've just used GovSearchAI to identify potential partners and competitors, you have the ability to catalog those on the opportunity. So in the related list, quick links, you'll see there's one for partners and another for competitors. Both function the same way by hovering over the line item here. You get this drop down where you can utilize the new button to add a record. Enter the competitor. It is a search bar, so you can begin typing the account that you want to select. And then there's also a space to record, in this case, our competitors' perceived strengths and their perceived weaknesses as well for reference as we go forward. Now, in addition to tracking partners and competitors, we'll also want to track the contacts that are involved and the stakeholders involved for this opportunity, both at the target agency as well as perhaps with partners. And that can be done with the contact roles link here. So hovering over this option in the dropdown, we'll select Add Contact Roles. And in this search contacts field, you can either search the name of a contact or the name of the account that they're within. So for instance, if we type in Army, we see contacts that are within the Department of the Army. You can also see there's recently selected contacts that'll be displayed here as well. Clicking next, we'll be prompted to enter in their role in the opportunity, whether they're the decision maker, an end user, or otherwise. Now with contacts added to this opportunity record, you'll now be able to utilize the relationship mapper. So here, this is where you can record the contextual relationship information. So in addition to their contact info, you can also record what's the relationship strength. Is this someone that we know well and would be able to pick up the phone and have a conversation with, or have we not really spoken with them much before? What's their priority, in this case, to the opportunity? Are they going to be involved in their procurement decision? Or are they an end user that is just going to have some input on requirements? And what's their perception of our organization? Have we worked with them previously? Do we have goodwill in their mind? Or maybe do we need to work on doing some more outreach to them? Staying with the related list quick links for just a moment. One of the other key pieces of information you can track is relevant past performances that could impact your proposal and your positioning on this proposal. So again, hovering over this option, there's a drop-down that opens up. I mean, you can use the new button in order to enter something new. You'll either have the opportunity to record the past performance here by clicking new, or you can type in the name of a past performance that you've previously saved. You can see you're prompted here for a few pieces of information to gather the gist of your past performance. And now this past performance is tied to both this opportunity record as well as the account this opportunity is related to. Now, for the purposes of storing documents related to the capture and proposal process, there are two options for you. The first is the files related list. You'll be able to save files within an individual opportunity. Additionally, TechnoMile provides a SharePoint connector, which operates such that when an opportunity is created, a SharePoint folder will be created in your dedicated SharePoint site. This takes just a moment, but you'll see a subfolder structure that generates here. Again, it may be different for your organization depending on what your admins have configured. This is a doorway into your SharePoint site. So you have the ability to retrieve or add documentation that others that may be operating outside of TechnoMile within your organization have access to as well. So it aids in collaboration between you and your colleagues, again, those that are in versus outside of TechnoMile. One more point on the topic of recording information about an opportunity. In this activity sidebar, we already talked about how you can assign and record activity with tasks or emails. But additionally, there's also the chatter feature, which provides a more free-form or catch-all space to jot down any free-form text or notes or comments, and also allows you to tag colleagues so that they are notified about a specific update on an opportunity. Now, when it comes to generating briefings on the current status of opportunities, TechnoMile is here to support you. Up here in the control bar with the Opportunity Spotlight Deck option, clicking this button, what's happening in the background is data fields that have been entered on the opportunity being extracted and placed onto a PowerPoint template for a gate review deck. And you'll see that show up in the list of files. Again, this may differ based on what your admins have configured, but you'll see now that instead of needing to copy and paste information from the opportunity record onto a briefing document, such as what we're seeing here, it happens for you automatically. Pulling out information from the opportunity summary, key dates, partners that we've recorded, competitors, as well as contacts and past performance information. Last thing I'll note here, in order to move an opportunity through the pipeline, you can see our pipeline stages listed at the top here: interest, qualify, pursue. And again, these may differ based on what changes your admins have made. But in order to move this forward in the pipeline, we simply click the desired stage to move to, and then click Mark as Current Stage. And you'll be prompted to confirm that you have completed the scorecard tasks for the given stage, or that they are not applicable, and then mark whether or not you have started or are in progress on the scorecard tasks for the stage you're moving this to. So that covers the opportunity management functionality within TechnoMile.